Hey guys, it's Peter. I wanted to share some thoughts on breaking pressure out of the back to supplement the work we've been doing in training. And so, real quickly, there are five scenarios I want to go over. And so, the first one involves just when we play out to our center back, and we're trying to get the ball out wide. And so, in this scenario, we really need to read what the intent of the defender is. If the defender looks like they're going to press, in addition to the nine who will absolutely be pressing, then in this case, if they're going to press, then we don't really need to start high because we don't need to open up that space or lose a defender because there's really no defender to lose. And so in that situation, if it looks like they're going to press, then we need to come back a little deeper so that we can create a good line. The higher we stay, we're not going to be able to create that line because that line is going to be blocked off. So we need to come back deeper to where we can create a line. And so we want the line to be as high as possible to where it exists. And so in this case, the 11's pressing, we play out the 7. We should have some time and space. And so this is basically a 2v1 that we've created here between our 5, our 7, and their 11. And then if we can break that line, then we should have some space here to play into. If, on the other hand, the 11 has guarded them, then we go back to the concept we talked about where we need to lose them, take them away, leave this space open because we want to play into that space. They come, and then from here, we always need to support. So we always need to offer ourselves as support. We need to have good space. We tend to collapse our space, make it really small. Remember, space is our friend when we have the ball. And so from here, we need to just read the situation. If the 11 is taking that channel away and they're defending from this angle, then, and let's say the 9 has pressed the 5, that's not really an option. This is our option. And so here, we really want the 8 to be patient, again, because that's our space that we want to play into. We don't want to get there too soon, but when the 7's ready to play, then we can leave that space open, 8 arrives, and then from here, the 9 needs to make themselves available as well to where we have this triangle here. And so we can play forward, or the concept that we worked on where we get in behind, we can play out here, get in behind the 11, and then play from there. But the answer is pretty much like everything else in soccer is it depends. It's up to us to read the situation and see what the situation offers us. If once it's out there, if the 11's taken more of an inside line and we can play into this channel here, then these are all different options. Again, we can't go through them all because there are a lot of them, but we just need to read the situation, interpret the space that's available to us, and try and unlock that space. The second scenario is where we go over. You've heard us talk about go around them, go through them, or go over them. That first one was we go around them. In this next one, we're going to go over. And so in that case, if they've just done a really nice job in taking away our options, and we need to reset, or we believe that we can break pressure going over the top, the 5 should absolutely look to go over the top and play into the 9, into this channel 4, this channel 5. And so there we want to use the energy of the ball because it'll be a lot easier when we can kick the ball first time, pass it first time over the top, use the energy of the ball when the ball's rolling back to us versus just at a standing start with the ball at our feet. And so those are two scenarios. The third scenario is another scenario where we go through them. We're going to go through two scenarios where we go through them. And in that scenario is where, let's come this way this time, the 6. And so the 6 gets pressed here. And let's say the 7 and the 11 are locked up here. The 9 needs to offer themselves in this channel. This is going to be the best channel for us to play in and should really be our first option, is to play from our back line straight through the 9. And again, same thing, we need to disguise our intent. And so when the ball is played from the goalie, We don't rush into that. We let the 6 receive. And the 6, I'm calling the 4, and we've talked about why I want to call that position the 6 versus the 4. We need to just disguise our intent. This is the space we want to receive the ball in. And when they're ready, then we pop into that space. They're going to get pressured. They're ready to play. We come in. Ball gets played. And we've broken 2 lines there. And so let's disguise our intent. Let's be patient. And when we're ready to play, make sure that space is open, and then we play into it. The other scenario that I want to go through about playing through it, it's basically the same as the 5th scenario, and that's just the whole concept of being patient. And so let's say, we go back over here to the 5 where we're trying to play out here. Let's say they've done a really nice job of just taking away our options, and we don't have a whole lot. In that scenario, we should play back to the goalie and try and recycle and recirculate to the other side. And if we can do that quickly, we should have some pockets of space open. Comes back to the goalie, we recycle over here, they're going to get pressed, they're going to get pressed. And in that situation, it could be the 8 filling into this area here. We struggle playing into the middle, and that's okay. It'll get better as we go along. But when it does go into the middle, our first thing, we have to get a good first touch on the ball to establish control, establish possession. And then from there, we can get it here. Then I think we have some options to play out. But the concept is whether we go through the 8 or this space opens up for the 11, like we should have some options if we can quickly recycle the ball from one side to the other using the goalie. And if we don't have to use the goalie, then we don't need to, but we just have to be careful playing this pass across, because that's pretty easy to be intercepted. And so if we don't feel good about coming all the way over, then let's just go back to the goalie and make that circulation in 2 steps versus 1. And then the last thing I'll say is, this is more of a defensive concept, but it's important. When the ball is over on one side, our defender, our other center back, and our other outside winger, they need to pinch in. And the reason is because if we have a turnover, then our other defender serves no purpose sitting here. And so we need to pinch in for defensive positioning if there's a turnover, so that we can defend here where there might be problems. And same thing for the 11. If it's over on the right side, 11 needs to pinch in case something happens, to where we can be support for defending. And then as soon as we think it's coming over, then we open back up and we create this space to recycle. So hopefully those are some concepts that are useful, and we'll see you soon.